So let's jump back to our retro review. So we're going to do October 14th, 1996 WWF Raw. But before we get there, the weekend before that, I thought there was a couple of interesting things that I can show you guys. Well, the Livewire clip, they replayed on Raw, right? So you guys saw the episode of Raw. But I guess I could play I did want to play the Ahmed Johnson Farouk thing as a little watch along because it's only a minute long. So hold on one second. Let me pull this up for you guys. I did a little Livewire page, by the way. Vlad's review is on here for this. Half a thumbs up for Vlad on this review. This what is going on with Ahmed Johnson and Farouk? So Ahmed Johnson is away on what is he? He's had kidney problems, but they made it a storyline on the show that
Correct.
That he got his ass kicked by Ahmed Johnson. So they're waiting for him to come back, and they're just doing a little promo here, a little promo battle. So I'm going to press play on this as a little watch along.
On Livewire here on USA, Ahmed Johnson was our guest, and Farouk had his first interaction with Ahmed. Listen to this conversation.
I do have something to say to Ahmed Johnson. He's had a great future in the WWF, and I wish him well in his other life.
Let me tell you something, son. First of all, I'm not taking nothing from you, Farouk, okay? 5-time All-American. You know he was ranked, he was number 5 on the Heisman Trophy list.
Outman Trophy candidate.
Great, outstanding athlete.
Lombardi
Son, let me tell you
candidate.
something, that's great, but that ain't gonna stop me for 1 second from putting my foot in your ass.
Okay, well,
You understand that?
Hey,
Do you understand that?
No, you understand.
Do you understand that?
You
But let me tell you
understand.
something. Let me tell you something. I'm not even mad at you. Like Tupac said, dog, I ain't mad at you. Because what you did, you woke me up.
It ain't
Now I
about-
know. Now
it
I
ain't
know in the WWF, I got to walk it alone. Now I know I got to watch my back. See, what you did, you helped me, son. You didn't even know it.
Hey, bro, it ain't about being mad. It's about winning. And you know for yourself, we both have similar backgrounds. Raised in the streets. There are no guidelines in the streets. Come on, man. There are no rules. Hey, and like you said, man, when the racism, when it gets into the ring, everybody runs up to me. How can you do that to another brother? If a brother is in that ring trying to defeat me and to get what I'm trying to obtain, I don't care what color he is. He can be clear for all I care. And he was just another man.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I ain't mad at you, dog. But once again, we must settle this. Whether it be in the ring or out the ring, it got to be settled. Because you know you're from the streets. I can't let you walk around, man, doing something like that to me. My reputation's on the line. You cannot embarrass me or the Purple Pack. You got to pay.
Let have them set when the match is set and the stage is set. All of that.
Where you at? I come now. Where you at now? You at I come to your house.
You know,
I'll come to your house.
I'm at your house tonight.
You know what? You should have Lawrence Welk on that show this morning and playing violins, all those sob stories I hear. What would a woman want with a half a man? Hey, I hope your other kidney's in good shape.
Okay. We're going to find out.
Hey, it's all
We're gonna find out.
good. Just bring it on, man. You know?
I hope your other kidney's in good shape. Damn. Hey, so these guys, Vlad, do you guys remember are they Nation of Domination, both of them? Somehow they become allies? Was Farouk in the Nation of Domination or no?
He was the leader for sure. Ahmed, yes, he does eventually. I think he turns heel at some point, but I don't think it's like at this any. Well, actually, I don't know when that happens, but it does happen. You're right.
Interesting. So somehow after all this hatred, they're gonna like become aligned together still. I was thinking that earlier today while I was driving home from work. Because I was thinking that I thought I was gonna start the show with this segment, but I was like, nah, let's start with Cena. Cena's promo.
You were gonna start with it. Wow.
No, wow.
I was gonna start the show with this. This was bomb. He's like, where you at? I'll come to your house right now. Like, this is good stuff. I really like this. And Vlad gave it a half thumbs up actually. So Vlad's rating on this, I gave it a thumbs up. Okay, so this is an ongoing storyline that I don't know if it's going to come to a head. I don't really know what's coming up in terms of a lot of things. So I'm just following it like as if I was following it back then. So that's why I'm covering it here. We've covered it on our WWF reviews. If anyone has missed any of our coverage of post SummerSlam 1996, there is a playlist in the description below with it from the very beginning. And yes, from the very first episode that we've done this, Farouk is waiting for Ahmed Johnson to come back to supposedly get revenge for attacking his kidney and putting him out. But that was a real life illness. But okay. So Livewire, all right, clip from Livewire, interesting. Superstars, this was from Sunday, so this is the day before the episode we're going to review right now, and I wanted to play some of Stone Cold's clip, because he has a thing with Mr. Perfect. So, I don't know if you guys saw this, I did send you a link, but here's my review. Here's my review of Superstars, which was like their secondary show. It's like their WCW Saturday Night, but much like WCW Saturday Night, it was like their main show for a long while, right? Before they got Raw.
Before Raw, that's correct.
So, okay, let me see what I could do. So I got Stone Cold, and for some reason, Stone Cold and Mr. Perfect in the commentators table. So let's listen to some of that as the show opens up.
And welcome to WWF Superstars right here on the USA Network. I'm Jim Ross alongside Mr. Perfect, and we've got Stone Cold Steve Austin here with us. And I'm assuming that it's only 7 days, 1 week, by the time you're going to be Savio Vega in Indianapolis at Buried Alive, you're here for those scouting. Well, if I look a little ticked off, I think everybody knows that I've been running Bret Hart down on worldwide television for quite some time. And being the coward that he is, he hasn't said one damn thing back to me. Savio Vega's like a cockroach. You can send the exterminator to the house, but he keeps coming back.
All right, so I gotta fill the people in on some stuff. So he's in the midst of running down Bret Hart every chance he gets. So he threw that in there. So Bret's not gonna show up here, but if you want to make a compilation DVD of him, his feud with Bret Hart, I guess you can include this segment. Also, Savio Vega. I don't know why they've been fighting in the past, but I think they don't have anything for him to do at this Sunday's pay-per-view, Buried Alive. So they booked him against Savio Vega again. So okay, just so you know who he's facing on Sunday. This because we're gonna do Raw today, and then the next one we got after that is Buried Alive, and Stone Cold is facing Savio Vega. All right, so Mr. Perfect is also on commentary. I don't know why they got both of them here, but they're gonna butt heads real bad. So I'm gonna play some of this.
Give him all the credit in the world for stepping to the plate. But you keep stepping to the plate, son, and I keep knocking your ass right back down.
Let me ask you something, Steve Austin. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been in the ring, and I know Bret Hart a lot more than you do. Believe me, if he ever decides to come back, and I don't know if he is or he isn't, he will not back down from any offers that you put up to him.
He won't back down, right?
That's right.
So you're supposed to be the know-it-all.
All right, gentlemen.
You're used to me in the ring. You're sitting right here. You're gonna tell Stone Cold what's going on in the ring.
I'm just giving you a little bit of advice, like I do.
I give you some advice. You just shut the hell up.
Hey, wait a second. Gentlemen, please. Let's maintain some sort of decorum here. We got Salvatore here.
All right. So Savio Vega's coming out. I guess that's why Stone Cold is on commentary for this match, because he's scouting out his next opponent. But let's see. I'm gonna play some of this match, but Stone Cold and Mr. Perfect are still jaw-jacking during the match.
Yeah, hell, I ain't giving you no.
What kind of advice did you give to Mr. Perfect?
I gave Helmsley some advice.
Look out, crossbody here!
Oh, by the way, Mr. Perfect has been giving Mark Miro advice because he's so perfect. He gave Mark Miro advice, and Mark Miro became Intercontinental Champion. So Stone Cold was saying, if I gave Triple H advice to beat you next Monday, and then that sets off Mr. Perfect, what are you going to tell Triple H?
We got a cover! We got a pin! No, we don't! Near fall situation by Savio Vega, scooping up Salvatore Sincere, and Vega misses the elbow. Let me ask you something, Stone Cold. What kind of advice could you give to Helmsley?
A lot. But to beat you, it wouldn't take much.
Oh, really? You've never been in the ring with me before. So don't you tell me how easy it'd be to beat me.
Perfect. I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah, I'm looking back at you.
And if they turn this damn mountain door off, I'll whip your ass.
Here, gentlemen, tell you what, I take this suit and tie off. They're going to come unglued, Austin, because everybody's waiting for Mr. Perfect. They want to see Mr. Perfect.
They do. Mr. Perfect was a thing of the past, son.
Is that right?
Mr. Has-Been right now.
Is that right? You want to call me a has-been?
I'll call you a has-been right now.
Wait a minute, that's enough.
Stone Cold's the hottest wrestler.
Yeah, and you're a wannabe.
wrestler in the world. You're a wannabe. You think so?
Wow, what a gem. What a gem of a scene, huh? On WWF Superstars on Sunday morning. Can you believe this? I by chance, because I haven't really been following the Superstar stuff between Raw, but by chance I ran into this. Anyway, so they come back from commercial, and these guys are going to go at it even worse.
I'd
Oh, wow.
man's ass. I'd whip Perfect's ass. Anybody that gets in the ring.
Don't you say you can whip my ass unless you've done it, Austin. Seeing is believing. When you do it, you're right.
What a top there by Savio Vega. You back to Minnesota in a box. And Savio misses a...
What? I'm going to send you back to Minnesota in a box.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We're trying to maintain some decorum here.
You're going to put me in a box?
Stand up to me.
You're going to put me in a box, send me back to Minnesota box? I'll tell you what, nobody gets to the bow down.
Wait a second. You better bow down.
Yeah, I'm all bowed up on this and you're trying to abide because there's no way you anything I've ever done. I'm from there. I'm from there already. I've already been there. You want to do it, Mr. Perfect, get in the World Wrestling Federation, you go out and earn it, punk.
You're a piece of garbage.
Is that right? Don't push me any further.
No. I do have a comment. I have a comment. I gotta say something.
I have comments about this too.
Now, wasn't this, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember this now because it's been too long, but wasn't this like a Saturday morning show, like more kids friendly? Very, from my recollection, this was a Saturday morning show. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But this is not for this specific segment is definitely not for kids with Austin and Henning.
I don't know about this one, but because this was on USA.
Yeah, that's right.
But there was a Saturday morning show. I don't remember what it was called though.
This was Sunday, Flat. Sunday morning.
Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sunday morning. Okay, same thing.
Well, yeah, kids aren't at school, they're at home. But so what do you think of them for some reason putting these two like giant egos just together just to fucking clash like this? It seems kind of like not something you would do, you know what I mean? Because they were just like, go ahead, go out there and see who could get the best of each other, and talk shit. And it's an incredible segment, I think. I really am impressed by this. And considering who's in it, and I think we're not going to get a Stone Cold Perfect feud because Perfect is leaving. But this just shows like the potential of what could have been if there was a possibility. This is a good idea for a booking. Maybe they were setting it up. Like maybe they were thinking if Perfect was going to stay in the long run, so.
Well, we obviously, Steve Austin is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but I think people don't have a great recollection of how good Curt Hennig was. Curt Hennig was tremendous. So this was a great segment. I absolutely loved this, honestly. So I don't have much negative to say about it. I just wish, in some sense, I kind of do wish Hennig was in WWF during the Monday Night Wars, but I think it makes sense that he was in WCW.
Well, yeah, they definitely made him very prevalent in that NWO storyline. But okay, so what happens is Jim Ross breaks him up. So Jim Ross kind of convinces Stone Cold to kind of get away from the situation. And since Savio Vega's in the ring, he runs over to the ring, jumps the guardrail, and he's just going to go be like a heel and fuck with Savio Vega just because he has a match with him on Sunday. So, he trips him up, acts like a dickhole, and then he's still he costs Savio Vega, does a little bit more. I think what does he do when Savio's on the ring apron? I think he pulls him off the apron, and that was like enough to cost him against Salvador Sincere. Man, when you cost someone to make them take a loss against Salvador Sincere, that really fucking sucks. But okay, so Stone Cold being an asshole here. It's just kind of funny to me, him being just a heel jerk against mid-card talent like Mark Miro or fucking Savio Vega. It's pretty funny. Okay, so that's all I got on this one, Stone Cold. So that's a little bonus segment. I don't think any of you guys saw that. One other thing from Superstars, just to show like things happen. There was a thing that was very interesting to me. Crush, Vlad. What was he called in WCW again? He was called
Brian Adams.
Just his name. Okay. All right. So on this episode, because I guess in his character had like been to jail or whatever. So there's a guy in the audience who has a sign calling him a loser jailbird, and and Clarence Mason is his manager, and he's telling him like, no, don't worry about this guy. But he really like can't take it. Like he's sensitive, right? So he's fighting Freddie Joe Floyd, and he keeps looking at this fucking fan. And I don't know. I thought this was kind of an interesting little storyline. I want to hear what your take on it is, or what's your guys' take on it, because
he should get take pointers from Dominic Mysterio. Dominic handles it much better. No, he definitely, this guy couldn't handle it, because after he wins the match, he goes over there and he like loses his temper, and he grabs this guy and pulls him over the guardrail. So he grabs a fan and starts beating his ass. So
now I see. Okay. Got it. Okay.
And then security, like, look, these guys look like actual, like, police security kind of. They come and break it up. So they try to make it look realistic a little bit. So interesting little segment there. What do you think of them using a fan as a plant in an angle like this? I'll start with Flat.
I'm sure it's been done throughout the history of the business. It's not revolutionary. I don't really know enough about or remember much about the character Crush. I mean, it's weird because, well, I will say, unlike Dominic Mysterio, Crush does look like a guy that could serve time in jail or has been in jail. I'll say that much for him. But other than that, I don't really remember much about this. But yeah, this was cool. I mean,
you don't mind them using a plant like this in the audience? Like, you think that's okay?
No, yeah, I think it's fine to get some, I guess, a story over. Yeah, but probably not for someone like, I probably wouldn't have done it for Crush, because I can't remember him doing much of anything.
I think the thought I came across to my mind, you can tell me if you disagree or agree with me, Robert, is when you do this, you kind of make fans think, like, if someone doesn't know this is a work, they kind of think that maybe they can get involved with wrestlers on the outside and jaw jack with them or touch them or get involved in the storyline. So that's why I think it's kind of dangerous to do things like this. No,
I disagree. As long as it's really a plant, then, people should know it's a work. And as long as it's not an actual just, fan, then it's fine. It's fair game. Yeah. So, I don't have any problems with it at all.
All right. Interesting that I was the only one who thought that out of the three of us. Okay, cool. That was a little bonus WWF Superstars from October 13th. Let's get to the main event. So I'm not going to go through a lot of these like very deeply. I got a couple little clips, short clips as watch-alongs, but this is WWF Raw from 1996, October 14th. If anyone wants to follow along with the blog post, we all have reviewed all of this in blog post form, which is kind of fun to look at the thumbs up, thumbs down ratings and stuff. But I'll go through a few of the storylines here. But I'll just mention also that last year we reviewed the WCW Nitro from this exact day, October 14th, 1996. So we've already done this on episode 94 of the Malapert Smark Podcast. So if anyone wants to see that, if anyone's interested in that, that's in the description below again. See how organized I keep this, guys? On the WCW side of things, the Macho Man and Hogan, great feud. I mean, you guys were along for the ride for that. We have watch-alongs of that in the playlist in the description below, where Robert watched the whole entire feud for Halloween Havoc for Macho Man and Hogan. Great stuff. So WWF has got a lot to compete with here. The great Nick Patrick referee storyline where he's is he NWO? Is he not NWO? I think this was also the day where the Nasty Boys got kicked out of the NWO, but they were only in there for like a couple weeks. But still, funny little segment. But yeah, so the link to this is in the description if anyone's interested in that or hadn't seen it. So we did cover that. But for today, let's move on to the Monday Night Raw from October 14th. Big main event. So they've already advertised Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold in the main event, which becomes a WrestleMania documentary, WrestleMania match for a main event match, right? A WrestleMania main. Sorry, I got distracted by my dog for a second. So this actually is a WrestleMania main event in the future. So looking back on this retrospectively, this is a really marquee main event matchup. I don't know if you think it is at the time. They kind of make it out to be. I'll play a little clip of the opening promo where they really talk up the main event. But let's see what we got here. So I'm going to jump to storyline number 1. So let's start with storyline number 1. So Jake the Snake stuff with Jerry Lawler. All right, so this is one that I do want to go over what happened. I'm not really going to play anything, but I'll just play real quick some images. So conspicuous by his absence to open the show on commentary is Jerry the King Lawler, because he's in a match, because he's been doing commentary for these guys for the recent weeks. I don't know for how long, but for as long as I've been watching since SummerSlam in '96. So, okay, so he's fighting Jake the Snake, who he already fought at SummerSlam, but they're doing a return match here. And he has been saying that Jake the Snake has been drinking again. You know, he's been saying that. He said that last week, so that was kind of something I glossed over in my review. But I was kind of annoyed about this storyline because I didn't really know where it was headed, and I'm not really sure I like where it headed very much. I think it was good, but I don't know if the payoff was worth it. But okay, so Jerry Lawler's in the ring, cracking himself up, laughing, and then Jake comes out looking drunk. He's got a freaking bottle, like a flask in his hand, and a brown paper bag. In his tights, in his wrestling tights. So I guess he's and Jerry Lawler's like, look, I told you so. This guy's freaking drunk, right? He's got the bottle with him. So the WWF president, Gorilla Monsoon, has to come out and check on him, right? He has to check if he's okay, if he's able to wrestle. And that's where Jake tells him, like, yeah, man, I'm just fucking around. I just want to fuck this guy up, right? Just let me fight. And then this is what Vlad commented when Gorilla Monsoon was like, yep, I got you.
That was great. That part was actually my favorite part of the whole thing.
Do it. Fuck his ass up. He's an asshole. Do it. Right? So Gorilla Monsoon was in on it. He let him start the match. He didn't tell anyone that he wasn't drunk, though. And then immediately, King runs in, hard kick to the stomach. It looked good. And a DDT, and that's the end. So squash match, pretty much. I guess you could call that a squash, right, Vlad?
Yeah.
Squash. So, and then he gets the alcohol and pours it all over King's face. So there you go. He got something back. Oh, and then he did the snake thing too. So
the snake.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler took the snake, so you could see his face here. He's like, oh my god. There he is. All right, so interesting little segment. I got some reviews from all three of us. Robert did join the review today, so we have a rating from him. Let's see what we got. Half thumbs up from all three of us. Okay. See, I kind of liked it, but I don't know if it was worth doing this whole alcohol angle. Oh, this guy's an alcoholic and this and that. Like, for this payoff, the Gorilla Monsoon thing was a cool little thing, like a cool little moment. But it didn't warrant me giving more than a half thumbs up, I guess. So I guess I'll get some comments from Robert first. Robert, any comments from you before we move along from this?
Yeah, I mean, it was not bad. But the one thing I didn't like was when Jerry Lawler was, I don't know, for like a whole minute or two talking crap about Jake Roberts. But I couldn't hear him because the commentary, Jim Ross and whoever else was there, I don't even remember what they said.
They were talking over it, right?
Yeah, they were talking over the promo. They were talking over Jerry Lawler. I wanted to hear what Jerry Lawler had to say, and I couldn't hear it. That was like my main issue with this segment.
I have seen that before too in this time period, Vlad. There was a couple of promos where, Bob Backlund was talking one time, and they didn't care. They just were talking over him. So there's maybe it's for certain people where like, we don't really care what he's saying. He's being a heel. So fuck it. We're just going to carry on with the show. But okay. Vlad, your comments before we get out of this one and move on to the Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels main event.
Sure. I thought it was cool. I mean, historically, I'm a fan of both Jerry Lawler and Jake Roberts. And Jake definitely pulled off appearing drunk quite well. I think he has some experience with that for some reason. I think he's been drunk in real life before many times. I have that feeling. I don't know why I have that feeling. I don't, no, but I'm just joking around. Obviously, we know he has some history of substance abuse and whatnot, but I don't want to make a mockery of it, but, it was kind of, I had to mention that he sold it quite well. Okay. It was kind of a weird thing that they kept putting on TV. I didn't think it really needed this. This could have been a Superstars. This was not something that I would put on Raw, to be honest with you. But whatever, it was cool. I mean, these are two legends for sure. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay, cool. Moving on to our second storyline from Raw. I think there's only 6 total, and I'm not even going to cover all of them in detail. But I'm going to move on to the main event, which had to do with a lot of other things, which I'll cover right now real quick, because they did advertise that Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels are in the main event. And you know what? I'll do a watch-along of the opening video package. How about that? So,
sure.
This was what promoted the match when the show opened.
He's vicious. He's vile.
I just whipped your ass.
He shows no remorse.
Get that piece of crap out of my ring.
He knows no mercy. He's Stone Cold. Shawn Michaels has braved the challenge of every predator in the World Wrestling Federation. But lately, the champion looks beatable. Have the battles finally taken their toll? Stone Cold smells blood.
This isn't a good book, son. This is Austin 3:16. And tonight, Shawn Michaels, I'm going to whip your ass.
Jeez. Well, they really tried to push Stone Cold here, right? I guess the push is pretty much starting. It's not heavy, but shit, they really made him sound prevalent here. And Shawn Michaels is involved in other storylines, namely Vader and Sid are on his tail. I guess they're going to have a #1 contenders match, and the winner will face Shawn. So that's all going to bleed into this match, because this match is such a marquee matchup. I don't think they wanted it to have really a clean ending on this show, but I'll get your comments on the ending when we get there. But let me move along. So we'll start with the Vader match. Okay, so the Vader match, Vader fought earlier in the card. Okay, I'm not going to really go over it, but he did have a match against Phineas Godwin from the Godwins. But Henry Godwin brought a dog with him. I don't know if you guys noticed this.
Yes, I did notice that.
Do you see this little cute dog?
Yes, so this dog looks horrified.
Yeah. No, it was an idea. It's always an idea to bring a cute dog on the show, but okay. So Vader gets a win against one of the Godwin brothers, and the one who becomes Midian. This is Midian. So, but Sid did enter. So Sid and Vader are in the middle of a crazy feud, and both of these guys are going to enter the fray during that Stone Cold Shawn Michaels match that we've been waiting for. So Vader wins. Cornette is happy. Moving along. Later on in the show, let me see. I'm skipping a bunch of stuff. Oh, the Stone Cold promo. Okay. Stone Cold's promo is always something good to play. Let's play that.
By Stone Cold, I understand you have something to say to Bret Hart.
You know, Hitman, since you weren't man enough to face Stone Cold, later on tonight, I'm going to whip the man's ass who whipped your ass. Austin 3:16, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
That great match is still to come.
Stone Cold, his character is not fully developed yet, but he's still really freaking funny. So he's still talking shit about Bret Hart. Okay, so the Bret Hart thing is a running little storyline here. No matter what he's involved in, he's always got to throw in, like, fuck Bret Hart, right? I want Bret Hart's ass. So here he comes out for the main event. All right, so this is, if anyone knew, did you know at the time, Vlad, that this was going to be the WrestleMania 14 main event with Mike Tyson as the special enforcer?
Of course I did. I see 2 years into the future. No, obviously, I never thought that. No, I don't think anyone thought that Steve Austin would reach the level that he reached in his wrestling career.
So I think this is the last time, by the way, he uses the Ringmaster theme song, because I I cheated a little bit. I saw some of Buried Alive, and he's got his new theme song when Buried Alive kicks in.
Which had the broken glass already, no? Or no?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one. So this is the last time he has that lame Ringmaster theme song, which really got him nothing. But okay, so Shawn Michaels is coming out. Cornette's watching in the back with Vader because they got a vested interest in what happens to Shawn Michaels, right? So okay, so this was a match. I'm not going to do a watch along for this whole match. I mean, you guys saw it. If anyone wants to go see it, you got to go find Raw. I'm sorry. I don't know where it's at now. Vlad, you say some of it's on Netflix or something?
This one's on Netflix.
This one is, yeah.
I guess. Okay. Who knows how long it will be. You got to find this stuff wherever it's streamed. If you guys are watching this 50 years in the future, good luck finding this episode of Raw. You know, it's got to be somewhere. But okay. Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold. All right. I don't know if anyone wants to comment on the work before I get to, like, the ending of it. But... I thought, I mean, Stone Cold is a great worker. Shawn Michaels is a great worker. Yeah. I think none of it was bad. None of it was bad. None of it was really like amazing because I don't think there wasn't really a story to tell with these two today. But they did put on a decent wrestling match. But Sid did a promo in the back as well. Cornette did. Sid did. Okay, so this is the end of the match. Okay, so. Interesting to me that this got called as a DQ, by the way, because Vader comes in, he doesn't like Shawn, and then Shawn leaps off the top or the middle rope and hits Vader and starts pummeling Vader, and the ref already calls for the bell. Like, the ref's like, someone's in the ring, this is commotion, chaos. Like, nowadays, they don't call for the bell unless someone is, like, struck, right, or touched or hit or something. So... I think they called for the bell a little too early here. So they already called this a DQ as soon as Vader was in there. I did see this often, though, in this time period. Like, as soon as someone's in the ring, the ref's like, no, I'm calling this match. You know what I mean? Nowadays, there could be someone involved for quite a while. As long as they don't actually hit the guy, you know, it doesn't really matter. But, okay, so Stone Cold, this was another thing that I was confused about, Vlad. Stone Cold, after Vader caused him to get disqualified, didn't really get mad at Vader. He just kind of continued on fighting with Shawn with Vader. So he kind of like made a little alliance with Vader. Didn't care. He's like, oh, this guy got me disqualified. Didn't really matter. He just continued on fighting.
It was a non-title match. I don't think it made much of a difference who wins or loses this one.
It doesn't make a difference who wins a non-title. If you beat the champion in a non-title match, you get a title shot. It's an important match. So I don't know. I thought they kind of glossed over the ending, like made it seem like it wasn't important who won, when I really think it is. You know, so I kind of did that detracted from this for me. But okay, so this is the big melee at the end. So there's a big melee that ends Raw, much like the SmackDown show that we discussed earlier today. But Savio Vega comes in, Stone Cold's opponent for Sunday night. He gets stunnered. Sid comes in, runs off Vader. Shawn Michaels, he doesn't know if Sid is on his side or what's going on. And for some reason, Razor Ramon and Diesel are there too. Which I think last week I complimented that storyline that at least they weren't in the main event storylines, and now I'm eating my words because here they are in the main event storyline. Oh, the fake Razor and the fake Diesel. Okay, so they're there watching, but they don't really get involved. But Sid and Shawn, this is a good moment of just like characters. You know what I mean? Like the way they look. Sid is just a great looking character, but Sid and Shawn end up clearing the ring to end the show. So the baby faces stand tall, and Sid and Shawn are there to end the show and make everyone feel good and celebrate. So okay, so this whole thing, this was a big mess. I wrote all the details on my review, but here's the details of everything I just mentioned. But our review, so let me see. Vlad actually gave this a thumbs up, retrospective review. Vlad likes this. Robert, half a thumbs up, and me indifferent because of all the things I said, like the DQ finish and, you know, Stone Cold aligning with Vader all of a sudden and not being mad at Vader. So I thought there was some logical holes that, to me, I was upset with. That it would have made me kind of just not like this show. You know, all the hype and everything. But okay, I'll start with Vlad. Vlad, you go first. Give us some thoughts about Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold, WWF Raw.
Well, obviously, the work was solid. It was a TV match. They really didn't give that much time, and they cut to promos numerous times during the match, really making it seem like they didn't really care what happened in this match. So when there was a DQ at the end, I wasn't really that surprised. I think the criticism that you had, I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was a big deal. It was just like two heels working together to beat down the babyface. I didn't really have an issue with it, to be honest with you. Hey, but it also had the trope that you didn't like, right? The Cornette and Vader were analyzing the match on TV, so automatically you should have given it a thumbs down.
Oh my God, you're right.
No, but whatever. This was okay, but it was just okay. I mean, I like the Sid and Sean part because, well, I mean, I do know what happens next, and I'm not sure if you guys do or not. It doesn't matter. But there are some cool things that happen with Sean and Sid coming up, so I think that's all right.
And the thing about Cornette, looking at the monitor in the back and watching the footage or watching the match and scouting it, it's not like the thing they do where they just like they're just watching and they got their arms crossed and they got a camera on them like a photo op watching. He's cutting a promo. He's all excited. No, this is not the same thing. This was good. I didn't get that thought from Cornette's promo here.
Okay, got it. Well, Vader's just watching the TV. Vader didn't even turn around.
That's pretty damn funny. Robert, thoughts from you on Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels, an early preview of WrestleMania 14?
I was kind of disappointed. This was really the reason why I even watched this episode.
Yeah, I told you last week.
Because the announcement of Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold. For the brief period where they actually did wrestle, it was good, and that's really where my half thumbs up comes from. For the rest of it, I don't know. I think first of all, the match itself was a little too short for my liking, and also what happens, after the DQ. It felt like a very overbooked ending. I don't know. I didn't really care for it that much. They hyped up this match throughout the episode as one of the best Raw matches in their history, and then that's all we got. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But for the brief period that they did work together, I did enjoy.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. All right, I'm loving the analysis. Let me move on. I got a couple more, and that's it. Let's see what we got next. I think the next one is the Mr. Perfect stuff and Triple H. And I'm really interested to see where this is going to go next week because it's coming to a head. Next Monday, they're supposed to have a match. Okay.
I finally remember what happened. It finally dawned on me. But I won't spoil it.
Well, don't tell me. Yeah, I'm watching this like as if it's the first time. So for me, this is great stuff. But yes, Triple H and Mr. Perfect again. Let's go through a couple images to show what happened for the peoples. This is something that we've been following, by the way, on our channel. So I have our SummerSlam playlist. This is all over it. So this has been continuing on. Mr. Perfect supposedly is coming back. He's coming back, and they've been really promoting the hell out of it. So here's an in-ring promo, and Mr. Perfect is in there with JR. And JR, I'm not going to play this one, but they're really good at using the perfect the word perfect as a good metaphor for him, like nonstop. Any way they can put it. How perfect are you feeling? Are you 90% perfect? Are you 70%? Any chance they have to use the word perfect?
Which is stupid. Are you 90% perfect or 70% perfect? What the hell? Okay. Right.
So here's the match later on. Triple H is coming out with another woman. Vince McMahon in the last pay-per-view said they're escorts, straight up. So
really? I don't remember that. Like escorts?
That's what he called them. He's like his
They're
escort.
escorting the wrestler to the ring.
I guess.
yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. That's what Vince said when he was on commentary during Mind Games. He says, Mr. Perfect keeps stealing Triple H's escorts. So, okay.
Oh, man.
So let me go through what happened here because this was a little interesting, Vlad. A little thing that I want to nitpick at in terms of. Oh, here's a Triple H curtsy, by the way. So Triple H this time he handcuffs his girl because he's like, I'm not letting Mr. Perfect steal my girl this time. So he literally gets a handcuff and handcuffs her to the ring, right? So what happens is he's facing off against what the hell was it? Freddie Joe Floyd again. Okay, Freddie Joe Floyd, second night in a row.
Poor guy.
So his girl is watching on, and then Mr. Perfect comes in. So again, he's gonna just come in, swoop in, and he shows Triple H, I got the key. Like, where the fuck did he get the key to that specific handcuff? And then we see that I guess there was a security guard in the audience that Perfect is like, cool with. So he got the key from that. I don't know if that makes sense. You see, there's my logical plot hole. Like, why did this guy have that specific key? Is every handcuff key exactly the same? Can you just buy one handcuff key and it unlocks any handcuff? Or what? Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply into this. But this didn't cost Triple H. So usually it costed Triple H these Mr. Perfect incursions. But Freddie Joe Floyd, I guess he could beat. And then he runs after Mr. Perfect, but he gets clocked in the face. And then the girl, I don't know if she was meant to be like worried or look worried about Triple H, but she was kind of a bad actress. Like, you could see she's kind of smiling here, and Kurt Hennig pulls her off. So there's the last segment on Raw before next week. They're supposed to supposedly have a match. Oh, the commercial. This was the commercial I was gonna play for you guys. I don't know if this was on your feed, but
he is the very definition of the word, the picture of perfection.
Yeah,
it was.
They played this on there. Okay, so they're really like promoting this match is gonna happen. So I already know this match doesn't happen, but I'm just showing this to show like how much they're really trying to promote this Mr. Perfect heel turn. Like, if it actually, or not heel turn, but return, and if it actually happened, I think you could say they did a great job of setting it up, right? I mean, but that's the risk you play of like taking so long to set something up, because if it doesn't happen, then it just blows up in your face.
Competition, he excels, whether it's on the football field, on the baseball diamond, or in the ring. And now, arguably the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time steps back into the ring to teach this American blue blood a lesson in perfection. Mr. Perfect battles Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It's Raw, it's live, and it's next week.
Yeah, all right. So we're going to get that match for sure next week. All right, tune in next week on the Malapert Smark Podcast. I guess we'll review that. Well, actually, probably not next week, because next week we might have to do Buried Alive and read through the results of that. But soon. Okay, so moving along. Let me go to the fourth. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Comments. I know we've gone through this storyline. I wanted comments on the handcuff thing specifically. I know we've gone through this storyline already, and you guys have given comments on it overall. But what did you think of the handcuff spot? Was that kind of a sellout thing, or what?
You want to go first, Robert? I
thought it was a little silly and illogical, but whatever. I mean, I guess Mr. Perfect just has the perfect plan to come out of any situation and make the perfect getaway with the girl.
He's always freaking perfect.
It was okay. I mean, it was predictable. I kind of expected that to happen, so it was all right.
All right. Well, me and Robert gave this a thumbs up, though. So still silly, but I still liked it. Vlad, a half thumbs up. Okay. So I guess he kind of liked it. Vlad, comments before I move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to explain how he had the key, unless it was the same handcuff that police officer or whoever that guy was, right, the police officer, I believe, gave to Triple H. I don't know. Otherwise, it would make no sense. But
all right.
No, They're not, obviously, there's not one key for each, for all the handcuffs in the world, for sure. But okay,
All right.
let's move on.
Let's not spend all day analyzing that silliness. Okay, last one I think for the day, and is this? Oh no, that was the last one. Okay, so I just want to gloss over some other things. I'm not really gonna play any clips, but the Road Dogg thing. So we played that last week. That was a segment we reviewed last week where they dragged Jeff Jarrett through the mud. He's a fraud, right? His music was fake. It was Road Dogg singing the whole time. But this time they actually introduced like a storyline thing. I don't know if you listened closely. The storyline is, the way they're putting it, Road Dogg ruined Jeff Jarrett's Intercontinental match against Shawn Michaels. So that's why Jarrett left WWF, and Road Dogg was like, well, he brought me into WWF, so he kind of abandoned me, right? So that's why he's kind of mad and he's dragging him through the mud. That's the storyline, which I think is kind of not a good storyline. So that's why me and Vlad gave this a thumbs down. Robert an indifferent, which is kind of a bad rating as well. So I think he's being generous not to give a thumbs down, really. But, okay. So that was another.
He just doesn't care.
I don't care enough.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, if you don't care about something, that's kind of a bad thing. Like, you know, I always say these segments are a chance to pull thumbs ups from us, and if they don't do it, that's kind of a fail. But let me see what else we got. Sunny, the Sunny stuff on this show was kind of weak. She came out. I think she cut a promo. They gave her plenty of time to cut promos and stuff, but she's still loosely aligned with Farouk. Although they kind of broke up, she's like, well, I might help him sometimes. So she was on commentary for his match when he beat some guy named the Pug, which I had never heard of him.
I've never heard of that guy before in my life.
I never heard of him.
No, never.
I am a wrestling historian, and I've never heard of him. But okay.
That was the first time I've ever seen the Pug.
Oh, and the last thing is the fourth round. So this was a very lazy build-up to a Buried Alive match that they've been promoting for their pay-per-view. Is called Buried Alive. But all they did for 4 weeks was have The Undertaker and Mankind cut promos from the graveyard. I mean, good imagery. I like the imagery. Okay,
The imagery was really good. Yeah.
The imagery was really good. It just kind of sucked that that's what they did for 4 weeks in a row. It seemed kind of lazy. Like they recorded all of that maybe in one night and then just played it for 4 weeks.
For sure.
I don't know if anyone wants to comment on that because that's the last thing I got.
No, I mean, I said it before. I think I said it last week. I was already sick of these promos. I mean, they're good in a way. I mean, I think the one with Mankind, like, there was like rain and Paul Bear was in the rain with the umbrella. And he was just talking crazy as usual with his high-pitched voice. But it was like the same thing, basically, that they've been doing, you know, Undertaker, you will never rest in peace, whatever. And it was the same thing that he's been doing all 4 weeks, basically. But yeah, definitely over it, and actually can't wait. I actually don't remember the match that well either, so I'm kind of curious how that goes, to be honest.
All right, well, on our reviews, only I gave a thumbs up. You guys were only a half thumbs up, and Orange Cassidy kind of liked it, but not too enthusiastic about it. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got for this edition of Raw. You guys can give overall comments right now real quick before I move on to my quick honorable mentions for the day.
I didn't like this episode.
Yeah, there's not much good. There's really not much good that's currently going on in WWF at this time. This was just a very mediocre to poor show, honestly. It was just not a lot to get excited about. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
You'll give it an indifferent?
Yeah, I would say probably indifferent. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the worst. Like, I wouldn't give it a thumbs down. Maybe the week before that was a thumbs down episode, but this was just, it was just whatever.
All right. Well, I think the best stuff that I'm seeing is kind of the Triple H Mr. Perfect stuff, which is kind of sad that it's not going to come off. Because it's like, damn, that's kind of one of the better things that's going on. But also the Buried Alive match. So that's another thing that's like, dude, that sold some tickets. That must have moved some tickets. Like, dude, they keep saying this Sunday, someone is going to be buried alive by the pay-per-view, everyone.
And this was the first time probably something like that had happened, right? I mean, I know later on they probably have more of these type of matches numerous times, but this was a first, I would imagine.
Yeah. All right. Robert, do you want to give this show an overall rating? Do you want to give it a thumbs down?
Maybe a half thumbs down.
What? We don't have that. We don't have that rating. It's got to be a thumbs down.
Didn't dislike it that much, but I'm definitely not gonna rewatch this ever again.
Well, so then maybe you were indifferent as well.
Yeah, sure.
You kind of didn't like it. I don't know. I've played around with thinking if we should give a minus 0.5 rating, but nah. You gotta either you didn't like it or you liked it, man. You gotta make a choice. But
all right, well then I didn't like it.
thumbs down from Robert.
All right.
Thumbs down then.
Thumbs down on October 14th. WCW was way better. All right, let me